Welcome to That's My Biz, the Internet Business Showcase, where we bring exposure to products, services, and special causes of local businesses and organizations. Thank you so much for joining us. We are coming to you live from the BizLinks TV studio. Brought to you by Southeast Computers, repairs, upgrades, custom builds, and restorations. SoutheastComputersATL.com. Hi everyone, I'm Pamela Alexander and welcome to another episode of That's My Biz. As always, we enjoy bringing to you the wonderful businesses that we meet when we're out there networking along with the associations and nonprofits. I have with us another wonderful guest with us as well, Mr. Stan Lemons. Welcome, Stan.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. Good. Thank you so much. Now, I want to remind you all, before we get into it, that you can watch this episode again at www.bizlinks.tv. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/bizlinkstv. Make sure that you give us some comments out there as well, and check us out on facebook.com, also bizlinkstv. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about Stan. Now, his business is the Secret To Writingcom, and it's a writing service company, and they help students and professionals to communicate effectively in writing. One of their core services is helping students with admissions and scholarship essays for college and graduate school. And then in keeping with the work to help students prepare for college, he is also the author of the book Expanding College Opportunity. So we're going to get into all of that. But first, Stan, let me get into, in talking about college and students preparing for college, just what is the importance of that? And is college for all students?
Well, that's a great question. In terms of preparing for college, it is the key message that I really say to both students and parents is preparation is sort of wins out.
Okay.
Starting early and really thinking about what type of college experience you would like is very important. Now, part of your question related to, is college related to, or is it for everyone? Well, that's a great question, and for some, it is not. But the good thing is, pursuing higher education, whether that's through a 2-year college or a 4-year college, or through trade school or some type of technical school, is a great option for a lot of students. But the key point there is pursuing some type of higher education in today's world is really important.
Okay. And then now your company is the Secret To Writing.com. So now tell me how that and the writing part ties into the students preparing for college.
Sure. So first off, the Secret To Writing.com, we do focus on helping students improve their writing skills, and we do that via our writing classes.
Okay.
And then along with that, a big part of our services relates to helping students write both admissions and scholarship essays. Now, when you think about applying to college, oftentimes a big part of that, the application process, is that a student will have to write an admissions essay. And what that means, really, is that a student will aim to communicate their story, who they are, why they want to go to a particular school. And for the colleges, this is really the key way that a school is able to learn about a student beyond the numerical data that is presented via test scores or grades. So the essays are really a key element in the admissions process.
And I can imagine even in preparing for the essays that it's going to help the student even in the interview side where it's not about the writing, but because they've taken that time to put that essay together and get their story kind of nicely wrapped up in a bundle, when they do the interviews as well, they have a better arsenal of being able to talk with that person.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. A big part of writing an essay for college is really taking the time to think about what you want to write about. This is not the time where you sort of do this the night before.
Right.
A student needs to really invest the time to really think through their answers, because this is how a school will really get to know sort of the substance of that student.
Okay.
Now, the one point that I would want to add to that is, in today's world, a lot of schools do not even offer in-person interviews. So because of that, the essays take on an all the more important role in the admissions process.
Okay. So now tell me, with the Secret To Writing, tell me.com. Tell me the need for that, because the students are in school, so they're taking the English classes and the writing classes, right? That's not enough.
I don't think so,
Okay.
frankly. You know, in today's world, a lot of students today are using their thumbs and
Yes.
fingers to do
Mm-hmm.
texting, and I think that's
Right.
really had an impact on the writing skills of a lot of students, and not just texting, but I think, and this isn't to knock what's happening in schools, but I think the more support and reinforcement that a student receives as it relates to writing, the better off that child will be.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. So with that, how soon do you start working with the students, and how soon should they start learning what they need to know to apply for college?
So we, at the Secret To Writing.com, and even in my work as a counselor to families about going to college, I typically reach out to families when they're in middle school.
Okay.
And that may be a surprise to a lot of people. I mean, I find that some people will start thinking about college as a senior. Well, that's okay. I'm not. That's not sort of the end of all things there. But in terms of creating more options for a student, if you start planning early and doing those things that will position you to have more options as a high school senior, the better off you will be. And that not only applies to getting into a college, but it also applies to getting financial aid and scholarships to pay for college.
Okay.
So the earlier the better.
Okay, right. So now, with all the information that you have and the knowledge that you and just your own experiences, you've now taken with the Secret To Writing.com and put all that information and knowledge, well, not all of it, but a good bit of it, in your book, Expanding College Opportunity, to go even beyond just the writing portion, but really helping the students with the whole process of getting into college.
Yes, that's absolutely right. The book Expanding College Opportunity is really has been a work of love, and something that I'm personally very invested in. The book is a concise guide on the entire process of applying to college, and it's targeted for middle school families as well as high school families. The book, to give you a little bit more of the details about the book, it's comprehensive. So I talk about things like what do colleges look for in an applicant, how to get scholarship money to pay for school, and all that, the details are in the book. The book is also written in a way that is easy to read, so it's quick. So that in that regard, I think both students and their parents would enjoy it. And then I include my story, because and part of the reason why I do that is I think that it can be helpful to students to have sort of a mentor, or to see, in my case, my story. And then for many students, they may say to themselves, well, if that guy Stan Lemons can do it, I can do it too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I definitely agree. It is a very easy read, enjoyable read as well. I like how you mix your story in there. But I mean, a lot of good nuggets and good information in there. I think back when I was applying to college, and a lot of that information would have been really helpful, down to how many do you apply to, and like you mentioned, even sharing information about financial aid and the things that you need to consider and all that. And what I love, and I want you to talk a little bit more about, is in the parent's perspective and the student's perspective. So where you share that in the book about how each area needs to be considered. So talk a little bit more about that, with the parents and the students kind of maybe having different perspectives.
Sure. So as a parent, I'll start there. And I'm a parent, and I could speak from the standpoint of going through this process and then being a parent. You want to be supportive of your child. And in that regard, if the parent has a sense of a roadmap of the key things that a student needs to do along the way, then that parent can sort of support and coach and cheerlead for the student. Hopefully not, be totally hovering all over them or what have you, but definitely to be a supportive person. I think at the same time, obviously, you're dealing with teenagers and they're adolescents, so there's a lot of just natural development that's happening. So because of that, if the parent can be active and really is armed with a lot of the questions and things that a student needs to know or do, then that can be helpful. In terms of a student, I think it's important for the student, him or herself, to have a clear sense of the key things involved, because ultimately it's the student that's doing the work, that's going to class, and that ultimately will be the person to decide where that student wants to go to college. So a big part of why I reach out to kids when they're young is just sort of to give them this information. I mean, information is very powerful, and so if families have this information, both parents and student early on, then it will help them.
Okay. Now, how do the students and parents get in touch with you? Do you work with the schools, or how do they start getting involved with you? Sure.
So there are a number of ways. First off, you can go to my website for the book, expandingcollegeopportunity.com. As well, I mean, I work for the secrettowriting.com. You can also go to that website. So those two websites, expandingcollegeopportunity.com and the secrettowriting.com. If you go to Expanding College Opportunity, you can stop by, buy the book, and what have you. You can also phone me at 404-869-1290. Again, that's 404-869-1290.
Great. Now, what I want to close with, too, is do you work with other groups and organizations? Because, I mean, with this book, I see the value of it in getting this in as many hands of parents and students as possible. And there are a lot of organizations who interact with them. Do you work with organizations as well?
Absolutely. I love working with organizations. I, for example, go out and I give presentations at middle schools and high schools. I go to churches. I've done a lot of presentations through the public library system, as well as through the YMCA, and I do that really all over the country. So, if there's a group out there that would like to have me come and speak, I absolutely welcome that opportunity. And again, you can reach me through my website. But I love really that interaction and really talking with both parents and students live.
Yeah, good. I mean, and I'm telling you all, make sure you go get the book, go to the website and get the book. Don't wait till you find it somewhere. There's a group that's bringing Stan in. Go ahead and go get the book. It really is a wealth of information. We have a son that's in college now, but he's kind of on his road now, as he'll be a junior coming up. But I think I even saw the value in it. I enjoy reading the information and just kind of learning on how things may be a little bit different from when I was in school. But I think oftentimes as well we find students who may still be the first person in their family that's going to college for the first time.
Yes.
So it may be more challenging for you as a parent if you haven't, or just because times have changed and what they're looking for may have changed some, that for them to grab this book and go through it yourselves, then go through it together with your students. So I definitely encourage everyone to please reach out to Stan and grab the book, and then reach out to him to start working with him one-on-one. Start early. If you haven't, though, you said it's not too late, right?
That's absolutely correct.
Good. And before we leave, Stan, maybe give everyone one tip, especially for the students who are kind of just considering they may be a junior or senior, they're not starting. We know the ones that are middle school, y'all are going to start working with Stan now. But for the ones that didn't know about you before today, what they can do to truly have a successful experience and get into college.
Sure. So let me answer that question by saying this. I'm the first in my family to graduate from college, and I have found that the experience of going to college really opened a lot of doors for me, and I know it will for many others. That's number one. Number two, I say to students, no matter where you are in terms of what grade or however you're doing in school, you can take advantage of the opportunities that are out there today. So wherever you are, wherever you come from, the key is really taking the steps to research and apply to schools and to do it now. Don't wait. So that's the biggest message, and just know that you can do it. I'm behind you. I want to be behind you. I wrote the book. If you have no other, I mean, you can take advantage of resources in your school, in your community. You have the book. There's the internet. But just know that if you have the will, the desire, that the opportunity is there. And I'm a testament to that. I believe in this, and I know that you can do it.
Yep. Fantastic. I mean, those are some wonderful parting words. Stan, thank you so much for joining us. Wealth of information in the book. Everyone, again, please reach out to Stan. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Everyone, I'm Pamela Alexander with BizLinks TV Network on location, and you're watching That's My Biz. Once again, we want to remind you that you can check out this show again, share it with other students and friends and parents as well. You can catch it at www.bizlinks.tv. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/BizLinksTV. Give us some thumbs up for the shows. Also, feel free to put in your comments out there as well. We'll make sure we get them to our guests. And lastly, don't forget, facebook.com/BizLinksTV. Remember, we want to expose your business to the world. Thank you for joining us. Today's show can be viewed on demand on our website at www.bizlinks.tv. If you are interested in having your products, services, or special cause showcased on our program, submit an inquiry to that'smybiz@bizlinks.tv. In addition, information on advertising and hosting your own show can be found on our website at bizlinks.tv.